The 7 types of people Allah will save from hellfire, are you among them? Right now, as you're watching this video, your name is already written in one of 2 places. Among those whom Allah will save from hellfire, or among those who will be dragged into it, even if they were once Muslim. The most terrifying part? You. And I don't know which list we belong to. But today, by Allah's mercy, Malam Gigi brings you a message that could change your destiny. Because the Prophet told us about 7 kinds of people whom Allah himself promised to protect from hell, on a day when even prophets will cry, saying, myself, myself. Brief pause, thunder rumble. So listen carefully till the very end. Because if you're not among these 7, then you're in danger. And if you're among them, then congratulations, Jannah is calling your name. Before we begin, if you want Allah to witness your support for his message, hit the like button right now. Type Ameen in the comments to seal your intention. Subscribe so you never miss another reminder. And share this video, because maybe the one who watches because of you will be the reason you are saved on Judgment Day. A question that decides your eternity. Life is nothing but a journey between 2 moments. The day we were born and the day we will die. We wake up every morning planning our next meal, our next payment, our next achievement. But how often do we pause and ask, where will I end up after all of this? Not tomorrow, not next year, but after death, after the dirt covers us, after the people leave our graves and walk away. Will we rise among the people of light or among the people of fire? Some of us may say, Allah is most merciful. He will forgive us. Yes, Allah is indeed most merciful. But he is also most just. He sent us warnings. He sent us guidance. He did not leave us wandering without direction. And among those warnings, there's one that shakes the heart to its core. The Prophet said, on the day of resurrection, Allah will say, O Adam, bring forth the people of the fire. Adam will ask, who are the people of the fire? Allah will say, from every 1,999. Sahih al-Bukhari. From every 1,000 human beings to ever exist, 999 will enter hellfire, and only one will be saved. When we hear this, our hearts tremble. We may think, is there any hope for us? But listen carefully. In another narration, the Prophet said this frightening number includes the people of Gog and Magog, a massive corrupted nation from the end of times, which means that the believers are not hopeless. There will be a saved group, a group protected under Allah's shade, a group honored on a day when the sun is brought 1 mile above our heads. So the real question is, will we be among that one, or among the 999? This series is not just about learning facts. It is about transformation, because Allah has already told us about 7 types of people whom he will protect from hellfire. 7 types whom he himself praises. 7 types we can strive to become. But before we begin discovering them, we must first make a commitment. Right here, right now, we must promise ourselves, I refuse to live blindly. I refuse to drift toward hellfire while hoping for paradise. I will strive to be among the saved few, even if the entire world walks the other way. O you who believe, fear Allah, and let every soul look to what it has sent forward for tomorrow. Our tomorrow is not next Monday. Our real tomorrow is the day we stand before Allah. So let us prepare before the trumpet is blown. Let us act before regret fills our graves. Let us walk together on the path of the saved. Dua, O Allah, do not leave us among the heedless. Do not let us be among those who wake up too late. O Allah, guide our hearts before they harden. Grant us sincerity before our souls depart. And when you gather all of mankind on the day of judgment, make us among the saved few, not the destroyed many. Ameen. Why most people will be neglectful. They say time heals everything. But in reality, time does not heal, it only reveals. It reveals who is sincere, and who is pretending, who lived with purpose, and who simply drifted through life, blindly following the crowd. We live in an age where distraction is easier than reflection, where comfort is preferred over sacrifice, And this is the first reason why most people will be neglectful. 1. They mistake comfort for success. Most people believe that if life is going smoothly, it must mean Allah is pleased with them. We see people laughing, traveling, partying, enjoying luxury, and we think, they are winning in life. They must be blessed. But listen carefully, and we granted them ease and luxury, and they became proud of it. Ease is not always a blessing. Sometimes it is a test, a rope that gets longer and longer until it suddenly tightens. 2. They delay repentance until it's too late. We tell ourselves, I know I'm not perfect, but one day I'll change. Soon, I will start praying properly. Soon, I'll start wearing a job. Soon, I'll leave haram. But that soon never comes, because Shaitan doesn't always tell us don't do it. He simply whispers, not yet, and in that delay lies destruction. The Prophet said, Hellfire is surrounded by desires, and paradise is surrounded by hardships. Sahih Muslim, meaning, if our life is filled with endless entertainment, endless comfort, endless desires, then we are walking toward hell without even realizing it. 3. They follow the majority, not the truth. We live in a generation of trends. Whatever becomes popular becomes acceptable. But Allah warns us clearly, if you follow most of those on earth, they will lead you away from the path of Allah. Truth has never been about numbers. Even Noah preached for 950 years, yet only a handful followed him. So do not be surprised if most people today are neglectful, because most people have always been neglectful. So where do we stand? We must ask ourselves, are we simply going with the flow because everyone else is? Are we delaying change, thinking we have time? Are we living in comfort while forgetting the grave? If so, then we are at risk of being among the 999 instead of the 1. But here is the good news. Allah does not demand perfection. He only asks for effort, even if we have lived in neglect for years. One sincere moment of repentance can erase an entire lifetime of heedlessness. So from today onward, let us refuse to be among the careless majority. Let us become conscious believers, awake, aware, alert, because in the next chapter, we will discover the first type of people whom Allah will save from hellfire. A type we all can strive to become, no matter our status, no matter our past. Dua, O Allah, do not let us be blinded by comfort. Do not let us delay our repentance until it is too late. Protect us from following the majority into heedlessness, and guide us to be among the few who remember you, even when the world forgets. Ameen, the just leader, even if we're not rulers. When we hear the words just leader, we sometimes imagine kings, presidents, or judges, people in high positions, seated on thrones, or holding great power, and we think to ourselves, this category isn't for me. I'm not a ruler. I have no authority. But in Islam, leadership is not defined by titles. Leadership is defined by responsibility. The Prophet said, each of you is a shepherd, and each of you will be questioned about your flock. Sahih al-Bukhari, which means a father is a leader over his children. A mother is a leader over her home. A husband is a leader over his wife. A wife is a leader over her husband's trust. A teacher is a leader over their students. Even a manager, supervisor, or elder sibling is a leader in Allah's sight. So the question is not, are we leaders? The real question is, are we just in our leadership Allah's promise to the just? Among the 7 types of people whom Allah will shade on the day when there is no shade except His, the Prophet said, a just leader, Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. Think about this. On a day when the sun is brought a mile above our heads, when people are drowning in sweat according to their sins, Allah will personally grant shade, comfort, protection to those who are fair, honest, and just in their dealings. What does justice look like in our lives? Justice is not only about courtrooms and laws. Justice is avoiding favoritism between our children. Justice is not abusing our authority when someone depends on us. Justice is not humiliating our wives or husbands just because we can. Justice is not underpaying an employee who works hard for us. Justice is not shouting at those weaker than us while laughing with the powerful. Because oppression, no matter how small, is darkness on the day of judgment. The prophet warned, "Beware of oppression, for oppression will be darkness upon darkness on the day of judgment." Sahih Muslim. Leadership starts with how we treat people. Some of us pray. Some of us fast. Some of us donate. But how do we treat those who cannot fight back? That is our real test. How do we talk to our wives when we are angry? How do we deal with our children when they make mistakes? How do we treat workers, waiters, drivers, cleaners when nobody is watching? Because Allah is always watching. The opportunity for every believer. Most people will stand on the day of judgment having oppressed someone, but only a few will stand having been fair and merciful. Let us decide today, I will become a just leader, even if my kingdom is only my household, my workplace, or my daily interactions. Because if we do, then Allah Himself will invite us into His shade. What greater honor is there than being protected by the King of Kings Himself? Dua, O Allah, You are the most just. Make us among those who stand for justice, even against ourselves. Do not let us oppress anyone, knowingly or unknowingly. Make us fair in our words, balanced in our actions, and gentle with those under our care. And on the day when there is no shade but Yours, shade us among the just leaders. Ameen. The righteous youth growing up in obedience. There is something unique, something precious about the heart of a youth. A heart that is full of energy, full of dreams, full of desire. Some hearts spend that energy chasing attention. Some spend it in rebellion. Some waste it in endless distractions. But then there's a rare kind of youth. A youth who, despite temptations all around, still remembers Allah. A young man who lowers his gaze when others boast about sin. A young woman who chooses modesty when society laughs at it. A student who prays when others skip salah. A teenager who fasts, not because they have to, but because they want to. These are not ordinary youth. These are the ones Allah honors. The Prophet's promise for the righteous youth. Among the 7 types of people shaded by Allah on the Day of Judgment, the Prophet said, a youth who grew up in worship of Allah. Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. Not a perfect youth, not a sinless youth, but a youth who tries, who struggles, who keeps coming back to Allah. Why youthful obedience is so beloved to Allah. Because when we are old, when our bodies are weak, sin becomes harder. But when we are young, when we are strong, we have the power to sin, and yet we choose obedience. That is true sincerity. Indeed, the promise of Allah is true. So do not be deceived by the life of this world. But what if we're no longer youth? Some of us may think, I'm already past my teenage years. I've wasted my youth. But Allah is so merciful. He does not close the door on us. Even if our youth is behind us, we can still become like righteous youth by renewing our heart today. Because in Allah's sight, a heart that becomes young again in obedience is better than a body that was young in sin. And if we are young today, then this is our golden chance. Because one day, when we are old, we will look back and say, did I waste my youth in sin? Or did I use it to build my place in Jannah? Let us be among those who can say, I was not perfect, but I tried. I fell, but I kept rising. I sinned, but I always returned to Allah. Because Allah loves the struggling believer far more than the confident sinner. Dua, O Allah, make our hearts young in your obedience. Whether we are in our teenage years or old age, revive our souls with faith. Protect our youth from temptation. Guide them to be leaders of righteousness. And make us all among those who are shaded, because we loved you when the world tried to distract us. Ameen. The heart that loves the masjid, even from far away. There's a special kind of love. A love not for a person, not for wealth, not for status, but for a place. A place where tears fall more honestly than anywhere else. A place where sins are washed without water. A place where our hearts feel light, even when our bodies feel weak. That place is the house of Allah. The Prophet's promise. Among the 7 types of people shaded by Allah on the Day of Judgment, the Prophet mentioned a man whose heart is attached to the masjid. Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. Notice, he didn't say a man who lives in the masjid. He said a heart attached to it, meaning even when we are far away from a mosque, our heart still misses it, not just for imams and elderly. Some of us think the masjid is for scholars, imams, or old men with white beards. But the Prophet once saw a young boy cleaning the masjid, and he said, "This boy is among the people of Jannah." Because love for the masjid is not about position, it's about devotion. But what if we don't live near a mosque? Perhaps we live in a country or city where there is no masjid nearby. Perhaps our schedule makes it hard to attend regularly. Does that mean we cannot be among this blessed group? No, because attachment is in the heart, not in the feet. If we long for the masjid, if we wish to be there more often, if we smile when we hear the adhan, even from a recording, then our heart is already tied to Allah's house. And Allah is too merciful to deny someone whose soul craves His presence. Signs that our heart is attached to the masjid. When we enter a masjid after a long time and feel peace. When we sit inside and suddenly forget our worries. When we leave and already wish to return. When we regret missing far in congregation. When we feel more alive among worshipers than among crowds. These are signs of a living heart. Let us not be among those who avoid it. Some hearts become so hardened that even when they live next door to a masjid, they never enter. They pass by it like a stranger. They hear the adhan and feel nothing. What a tragedy. May Allah never make us of them. Let us renew our connection. Even if we cannot always attend, let us at least visit once a week. Sit inside, breathe, reflect, cry. Let us say, "O Allah, this is your house. I am your guest. Do not send me away empty." Because whoever visits Allah's house with sincerity, Allah will receive them with mercy. Dua, O Allah, place in our hearts a love for your houses. Make the masjid our comfort, our refuge, our sanctuary. Do not let our hearts become distant from your remembrance. And when we meet you on the Day of Judgment, let us be among those who are shaded because we loved your house in this world. Ameen. Those who love each other for Allah's sake. In this world, people love for many reasons. Some love for beauty, some love for wealth, some love for fun or benefit. But there is a love unlike any other, a love that begins on earth, but is completed under the throne of Allah. The Prophet said, 2 people who love each other for the sake of Allah, meeting for that reason and parting upon that, will be under the shade of Allah on the day when there is no shade but His. Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. Love for Allah, what does it mean? It means you love someone not for their looks, not for their status, not for personal benefit, but simply because they remind you of Allah. They help you stay on the right path. Their presence pulls you closer to Jannah, not to dunya. This is pure love. This is sacred friendship. Not just words, but proof. If you truly love someone for Allah, ask yourself, do you pray for them even when they don't know? Do you correct them when they slip, lovingly, not arrogantly? Do you feel happy when they obey Allah, even more than when they succeed in dunya? Do you miss them because of their Ameen, not their entertainment? If yes, then congratulations. Your friendship is not just for this life. It's written in the heavens. A beautiful hadith. The Prophet said, on the Day of Judgment, Allah will say, "Where are those who loved each other for my sake? Today, I will shade them under my shade, on a day when there is no shade except mine." Sahih Muslim. Imagine, among billions of souls, Allah Himself calls you forward, not because of your wealth, not because of your achievements, but because you love someone sincerely for Him. Let us choose our people carefully. Some friends drag us into sin. Others push us toward righteousness. The Prophet warned, a person is upon the religion of his close friend. So let each one of you look at whom he befriends. Sunan Abi Dawud. So ask yourself, does my friend remind me of Allah or make me forget Him? Do we talk more about dunya or about deen? If I die today, will they make dua for me or just post a sad emoji? Let's be those friends too. Don't just seek righteous companionship, become one. Send reminders. Make dua for others. Check on someone silently struggling. Be the reason someone returns to Allah. Because maybe that one act of love will be your ticket to Allah's shade. Dua. O Allah, grant us friends who love us for your sake, and make us among those who are loved by others for your sake. Let our bonds be tied not by dunya, but by faith. Let our friendship testify for us, not against us, on the day of judgment. Ameen. The one who gives charity in secret, so hidden even their left hand doesn't know. We live in a world where people donate, but only after posting it online, where kindness is only shown if it is seen. But among the 7 special souls shaded by Allah is one who gives, and no one even knows. The Prophet said, a man who gives in charity so secretly that his left hand does not know what his right hand has given. Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. What an image, so quiet, so hidden, that even your own hands are unaware of each other. Why so much emphasis on secrecy? Because charity is not about praise. It's not about recognition. It's not about likes, subscribers, or applause. True charity is between you and Allah, when nobody is watching, when nobody says, Mashallah, when nobody even knows, except the one who sees all. Small deeds, massive reward. Maybe you only gave a few coins to a poor man. Maybe you paid someone's rent without telling them. Maybe you slipped food at someone's door and walked away. To people, it might seem like nothing, but to Allah, it may be your admission ticket to his shade, the day when shade will be more valuable than gold. On the day of judgment, the sun will be 1 mile above our heads. People will be drowning in their sweat. Kings, presidents, billionaires, all in panic. Yet one quiet giver, who once dropped a coin into a hand in silence, will stand under the throne of Allah, smiling, giving without being seen. Examples we can start today. Slip money into someone's pocket without them noticing. Pay for someone's groceries at the store, then walk away. Send food to a poor family under someone else's name. Support an orphan and never tell them who you are. Let your ego starve so your soul can be fed. A warning and a hope. If you give to be praised, you've already been paid by people. Do not expect Allah to reward it again. But if you give only for him, even if the world never knows, he will make the angels write it in gold. Dua. O Allah, purify our hearts from showing off. Let our charity be hidden, sincere, and accepted. Make us among those who give only for you, and allow that secret charity to shade us on the day when there is no shade but yours. Ameen. The one who remembers Allah alone and cries. There are moments that no one sees. No cameras, no microphones, no audience. Just you and Allah. No fancy duet, no long recitation. Just a heart breaking in front of its creator. And in that moment, a tear falls. The Prophet said, a person who remembers Allah in solitude, and his eyes overflow with tears. Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. He didn't cry in front of people. He didn't raise his voice so others could hear. He didn't post it online with emotional background music. He cried quietly, secretly, sincerely. Why is this person so special? Because tears are proof of a soft heart. And in a world of distraction, arrogance, and hard-heartedness, a single tear of humility is more powerful than 1,000 speeches. Some people's eyes are dry, not because they are strong, but because their heart is asleep. If your eyes still cry for Allah, then your heart is still alive. What makes a person cry for Allah? Remembering a sin they once committed, feeling how much Allah helped them despite their mistakes, thinking about death, the grave, and accountability, listening to a verse of the Quran that suddenly strikes deep, or simply a moment when you say, Ya Rab, I am weak, but you are merciful, and you collapse, not in front of people, but in front of him. A single tear can save from hellfire. The Prophet said, 2 eyes will never be touched by the fire of hell. An eye that stayed awake, guarding in the path of Allah, and an eye that wept out of fear of Allah. Sunan at-Tirmidhi. Subhanallah, a single tear can erase a lifetime of sins. Let us seek that moment You don't need to force tears. You don't need to act. Just sit alone. Turn off the lights. Close the door. Forget the world. Speak to Allah, honestly. Say, Ya Allah, you know everything about me. The sins I hide, the pain I carry, the hopes I bury. I have no one but you. If a tear falls, then angels will write it down, and Allah will honor it. Final dua. O Allah, soften our hearts. Let's cry for you before the day we cry and regret. Hide our sins in this world, and forgive them in the next. Grant us the honor of your shade on the day of judgment, and let our tears today save us from the fire tomorrow. Ameen. Fade to black screen with soft Quran recitation. Truly, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest. Surah Ar-Raid 13:28. Followed by, if this touched your heart, don't keep it. Share it with someone you love for the sake of Allah. If this message touched your heart, then don't just scroll away like nothing happened. Act before it's too late. Like, share, comment, Ameen, and subscribe. Not for me, not for views, but so that on the day of judgment, this very action will stand as a witness in your favor. This is Malam Gigi reminding you. Hellfire is real. Jannah is real. And your name is already written somewhere. May Allah make us among the 7 who will be saved. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.